District 57 International Speech Contest. Number 1, Choong-Kooi Chee, smooth and round outside, rough and squared inside. Choong-Kooi Chee.
Picture this, in an elementary school playground. I was standing with my Wing Chun stand, like Steven Seagal, and my opponent, Albert, was standing with the Kung Fu style. Contest chair, ladies and gentlemen, that was my first fight in school, and it was the last. It all started with a harmless teasing. My muscle is bigger than yours. My knuckle is rounder than yours. But soon it escalated into verbal aggression. My muscle can choke your double chin. My knuckle can brush your teeth out of your mouth. While we are waiting, bam, the two titans meet. Ladies and gentlemen, you would think that both of us would punch in each other's face. No, we are boys. We have a very low tolerance for pain, and we're afraid of blood. Instead of punching in our face, we grab each other's collar and we spun at the playground like two romantic waltz dancers on the playground. But anyhow, we were in trouble. We were sent to the principal office, and that evening, my mom picked me up and she said, "I will settle you tonight." And I was thinking, you know, in an Asian household, when you're being settled means you have no TV for 2 months and you have no computer games for a month. I was bracing for that punishment. Somehow, that night, my mom prepared a scrumptious meal for me. Wow. And she passed me a pair of chopsticks. And while we were eating, then she asked the key question, "Why did you fight with Albert this afternoon?" Before I could answer, she already said, "Look at a chopstick. Look at it.
Do I need another one?
It is round and smooth outside. Inside, it is rough and square. Why is it that way? Because you have to treat people with kindness. You must be polished, round and smooth. And to yourself, inside, you must try to improve yourself. You must have that edge. You must polish that edge. And square, you must be stable." Wow, that came from my mom. That blew my mind. My mom was so philosophical. I didn't know that. But I learned that. But she told me, "Why don't you call Albert up and apologize?" Well, I did. As an elementary schoolboy, I called Albert up and I apologized. And soon, Albert became my BFF for life, my best friend forever. Later on, as I grew up, I fell in love with Cindy, the beautiful Cindy. But Cindy dumped me. I was so devastated. It actually beat my ego up badly. I had the biggest pity party, and I called Cindy up. "Cindy, please take me back," I begged her. Then it didn't work. I changed tack. "Cindy, I hate you. You toot. I toot you." But it still didn't work. Then that night, my mom again prepared me a scrumptious meal. You guess what is it? And we had chopstick. And she asked me the key question again. "Why were you so mean to Cindy? And haven't I taught you that the chopstick, that you must treat people with kindness, and you must improve yourself, and it is smooth and round outside and square and rough inside." And that night, I called up Cindy, and after that, we moved on. I moved on with a lot more girls that I dated, but I've been dumped a lot more too. But then, I have this chopstick to remind me that no matter what happened, I have to treat people with kindness, and I have to always improve myself. And as you know, ladies and gentlemen, as we grow up, we meet horrible colleagues. We meet terrible managers. Am I right? But this chopstick is a stark reminder for me that I have to treat them nicely too, no matter what happened. And I have to continuously improve myself so that I can adapt to them. Again, as I grew up, I was thinking, what is this chopstick symbolism? And I realized that it is not only for the chopstick user to treat people with kindness and also to continuously improve yourself. I managed to find two iconic figures that practice this as well. The first one is Nelson Mandela. Yeah. Nelson Mandela was in prison for 27 years. And when he's out from prison, he treated his oppressor, the apartheid oppressor, nicely. And in the end, he united a very polarized country. And he managed it very well. And do you think Mandela used chopsticks? No. And what about the second iconic figure is Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi united and achieved independence for India with his passive-aggressive and without even a drop of blood. And he treated the British colonizer very well. And do you think Mahatma Gandhi a chopstick user too? No. So ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, this is a universal value, a universal philosophy that we must treat people with kindness and we must always improve ourselves. As you can see, in this room, almost 90% of you are eating with fork and knife. Yeah, but I do see a lot of kindness in all of you. And you guys have great inner strength as well as you guys grow, right? Now, why not once in a while you are having dim sum, or when you're having chow mein or wonton soup noodles, remember to consider to use a pair of chopsticks. That pair of chopsticks will remind you that smooth and round outside, aged and squared inside. So let this be the symbolism. And let's together build this world a better place with kindness and strength go hand in hand. Thank you. Okay, back.
Contestant number 2, Brandon James Murphy. Stuck, Brandon J. Murphy.
It was a terrible traffic Tuesday. I was late for a meeting with my boss. I snuck through the side entrance of our old building and into the jaws of an empty elevator. I hit my floor and waited impatiently until the doors closed. Suddenly, the elevator shook, shot to the top of the building, and stopped with a shudder. The lighting flashed out while the weak emergency lighting buzzed on. The doors did not open. I was stuck. And dang you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. What was my first thought? Was it, oh my God, I'm gonna die? Or even, I should figure a way to get out of here? No, because of all of you, my very first thought was, ooh, this might make a good story. Shaking off your negative influence, I took a step toward the control panel and froze as the elevator started to shiver. I was really... Remembering the yoga class I had failed 10 years prior, I balanced on one leg towards the emergency alarm button. No alarm sounded, but the emergency lights flickered out. I was so... I lost my balance and fell forward to the floor. The cabin started to shake, but fortunately didn't fall. I very slowly reached for my cell phone and saw the message, no signal. One hope remained. I was close enough to the emergency phone box in the elevator. It was working. I heard a familiar voice from the security team. Carolyn, this is Brendan Murphy from Toastmasters. You help me sign in guests every Wednesday. I'm stuck in the elevator. Uproarious laughter. Apparently, my reputation as a jokester was also. After the laughter died down, I convinced her of my dire situation. She then had the audacity to stick me with a question. What was the number of the elevator? I was dumbstruck. I tried my best to describe the location. Carolyn sighed and said she would go get a mechanic to see if he could find my elevator. It was dark. I was afraid to move. All I could do was think. I was definitely out of practice. But my mind traveled back to that morning's ugly commute, where the usual half-hour journey lasted 93 minutes. How could I stop wasting my precious time by getting stuck in traffic? My thoughts were interrupted when I heard a gruff voice. Open the doors. Remembering my cell phone could be used as a flashlight, I located the open doors button and pushed. And pushed. The button doesn't work. Not the button, just open the doors. Now my mind was, but how? Use your fingers to pull the doors apart. Okay. I reached for the crease between the doors and started to pull them each way. Both the inner and the outer doors of the elevator opened to the dazzling beauty of real artificial light. My car was 4 feet above the floor. I swung my legs out and jumped to freedom. All along, I had the power to open the doors myself. Lessons learned? 1, occasionally, just occasionally, think. 2, work from home. And 3, always believe that you have the power to get unstuck. Madam Toastmaster.
Contestant number 3, Nitin Narula. My dog thinks I'm his employee. My dog thinks I'm his employee, Nitin Narula.
They say a dog is a man's best friend. And I believed it until I got my own dog, Charlie. Now I have discovered the shocking truth. Charlie doesn't think I am his friend or owner. Oh no. He thinks I am his employee. Let me explain. Owning a dog is supposed to bring joy, companionship. But what I got? A demanding boss in fur who thinks he's running a Fortune 500 company and I am the unpaid intern. Our workday starts at 6 a.m. sharp. Not because I set the alarm. Charlie is the alarm. He pounces on my chest and stares at me like a manager who has been waiting in the office since 5 a.m. without coffee. The message is clear. Why are you not at my service yet? Groggily, I get out of the bed and straight to his first task, breakfast. You would think feeding a dog would be straightforward. Not with Charlie. He gives me this judgmental look, like a restaurant critic evaluating the plating of their gourmet meal. If kibble is not placed as per his liking, he dramatically sighs and walks away. I'm pretty sure he has a Yelp page where he rates my performance. Then comes the morning walk, which should be time for me to unwind. But Charlie takes his walks like quality check before signing off on the project. Every blade of grass must be inspected. Every bush thoroughly examined. Heaven forbid I try to speed things up. He plants himself on the ground and stares at me as if to say, "You don't rush excellence." And then there is a leash. It's in my hand, but let's be real. He controls it. If he wants to chase a squirrel, I have to run. If he wants to sniff a rock right in the middle of street, I am negotiating with the traffic. I have become his personal bodyguard, chauffeur, and PR manager. After walk, it's time for Charlie's real job, home security. And he takes his role very seriously. By seriously, I mean he barks at literally everything. The Amazon delivery driver, woof woof. A squirrel 3 houses away, woof 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 woof. Charlie just doesn't bark. He alerts the entire neighborhood like he's Paul Revere. The packages are coming, the packages are coming. And here is the kicker. After every barkathon, he looks at me, proud as can be, as if to say, "You are welcome, I just saved you from that highly suspicious FedEx truck." And if you think this is too much, let's talk about visitors. No one, and I mean no one, is allowed to see me without his permission. Family, friends, plumber, it doesn't matter. The process is same for everyone. Step 1, Charlie barks at them through window as if they were intruders. Step 2, he thoroughly sniffs them at the door like they might be smuggling contraband chicken. And step 3, they must pay Charlie tax. What's Charlie tax? Treats. No treats, no entry. It's like a toll booth, but furrier and more judgmental. Afternoons are productivity hours for Charlie, which is corporate speak for napping. He sprawls out on the couch, snores louder than a freight train, like he has pulled all-nighter crunching numbers to save family fortune. And I looked at his peaceful face, wondering how he has audacity to demand so much while doing absolutely nothing. But don't be fooled. Even while napping, he keeps an ear out. The moment I touch the bag of chips, his head shoots up like a radar dish. He is not asleep. He is monitoring the snack economy. By evening, you would think my workday is over. But no, that's when Charlie demands playtime. He drops his toy at my feet, looks at me with those commanding eyes that say, "Entertain me now." I pick up the toy, I throw it away, he fetches it, and I think he would be happy. He stands there, toy still in his mouth, refusing to let go. It's all about the power move. He is again reminding me who is the boss. So, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, you must be wondering, why do I put up with all this? Why do I let this little furry dictator run my life? Because at the end of the day, when Charlie curls up next to me, wagging his tail, looking at me with those I love you eyes, I forget everyday early wake-ups and the micromanagement. His paycheck to me is simple: unconditional love, loyalty, and occasional sloppy kiss. So yes, my dog thinks I am his employee, but honestly, he is the best boss I've ever had. And if that means being his intern every single day, I will happily clock in. And you, if you don't have a Charlie in your life yet, what are you waiting for? Go get your own little furry boss, because despite all the demands, the love, joy, and endless smiles they bring are worth every moment. And most importantly, they show us how to embrace the world with an open heart.
Contestant number 4, Dave Blum. Keep on knocking, Dave Blum.
What am I doing here? This is crazy. Kyoto, Japan. Standing in front of the impressive, imposing wooden doors of one of the oldest monasteries in all of Japan, the words of my college friend and mentor, Tim, echo in my mind. While you're in Japan teaching English, you must visit Tofukuji Monastery and meet the abbot. He's incredible. Some say he's enlightened. I'm not saying he'll change your life, but he just might. Wow. Wouldn't that be amazing to meet someone so wise he could change your life with a word? But I'm just an ordinary guy. Why would someone like that waste time on someone like me? Don't worry, Dave. Just tell him Tim sent you. Yeah, right. Meeting a Zen master in Japan would be a dream come true. But to do that, those scary, intimidating monastery doors must come open. Butterflies fluttering, fear rising. Boom, boom, boom. Silence. Boom, boom, boom. And then a small panel at the top of the door slides open, and out pops the head of a Buddhist monk with a stern, forbidding expression on his face. May I help you? I'm here to meet the master. He is busy. I only need a minute. He is very busy. Thunk. Well, I guess that settles it. And as I slink away in defeat, suddenly I'm a kid all over again, knocking on my brother Brian's door. Knock, knock, knock. Hey, Brian, what are you doing? I'm listening to the Beatles. Get out of my bedroom. Slam. Knock, knock, knock. Hey, Dad, what are you doing? I'm working on my book. Get out of my office. Slam. Knock, knock, knock. Hey, Mom, what are you doing? I'm making dinner. Get out of my kitchen. Slam. I'm not saying that my family didn't love me, because they did. I know that. But when they were busy, they pushed me back and they shut the door. And the message that I took away from my childhood was that all the special places where special people were doing special things, all the places I most wanted to be, were forbidden, locked away behind closed door. And my takeaway, when a door closes, stop knocking. And this message followed me throughout my life, through failed jobs, failed education, failed relationships. If I was going to break this pattern, something had to change. I needed the sage advice of a certified Zen master. But to do that, those doors had to open. It was time to play my ace in the hole. Boom, boom, boom. Can I help you? My friend Tim sent me. Tim from Pomona College? Yes. Just a moment. Fook. And then, slowly, the doors open wide, and there's the monk in front of me, smiling. Tim is a friend of the monastery. Come with me. It worked! He takes me to a small office at the back of the monastery where I meet the abbot himself, Fukushima Roshi. The happiest man I've ever met, with smiling eyes, a round head, a round face, a round belly, just like the Buddha himself. Hello, nice to meet you. Have some tea. You know Tim? We spend over an hour together. Chatting like old friends, drinking tea is so relaxing. But then, towards the end of the meeting, he turns to me and he looks me in the eyes and he takes my hand and he says, I have something for you. This is it. This is the moment. His next words will change my life. Yes, Master. Please accept these postcards of the monastery. Make sure Tim gets one. Have a nice day. That's it? Postcards? Are you kidding me? Well, that night I get on the phone and I call my friend Tim and I say, you said he would change my life. I came 5,000 miles and all I got were these stupid postcards. I said he might change your life. But you're missing the point. It's not about the abbot. It's not about enlightenment. It's not about postcards. It's about not giving up. Don't give up until your doors come open. Have you ever found yourself behind a closed door, shut out by the people most special in your life? It's time to step up and knock, knock, and knock again, and keep on knocking, and don't give up until all of your doors come open. Because when they do, you might lighten your load. You might get enlightenment. Well, you might get postcards. But whatever you get, it's going to be good. And when in doubt, tell him Dave sent you.
Contestant number 5, Esther Chambers. Significance. Significance, Esther Chambers.
Paraphrasing Mark Twain, who said, the two most significant parts of your life are the day you were born, and part 2, we're saving the big reveal for part 2 for last. Part 1. Imagine a hospital, a maternity ward, my mother. Where's the doctor? What? Where's the doctor? Where's the doctor? Now see this. Across town, way across town. Imagine a parade, the Memorial Day parade. Where's the doctor? On the other side of the parade. Was the doctor going to make it in time? Where? Yes, I was here with the doctor. My first day. Toastmasters and honored guests, how old were you when you first knew that there was something you wanted to do when you grew up? I was 5 when I visualized that when I grew up, I was going to be just like my mother. Why? Come, let me show you my house. Imagine there's all this scurrying going around. They put me in a brand new nightgown. Someone's curling my hair. Now, Esther, don't show out. Just mommy. They take us into the living room and they're taking pictures. What is going on? My mother, the first African-American female vice president in corporate America. It was Ebony magazine. I was so proud of my mom. They had put me to bed. There was something that hadn't happened. Down the stairs I go. Mwah! Flash! My photo all over the United States and parts of the world. 15 minutes of fame at 5. Not bad, eh? I was going to be just like my mom, and I was on my way. Now see this as I grow up. Follow me. We're on a plane, the plane of success, right? Come with me. Up, up, up we go. I go to Oberlin College in Oberlin, Ohio, not too shabby, up, up, up. I go to France to speak French with Oberlin College students, and oui, je parle français à tout petit peu. Up, 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 up. I want to ask you, what was your dream? Think for a moment. Go back when you were young. How many wanted to go to college? How many had a dream that was so big inside of you that you could just taste it? How old were you when you were on that success plane going up, 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 up? Uh-oh. Yeah, bam. What happened? As fast as I was going up, I came down. Fellow Toastmasters and glorious guests, have you ever had an experience in your life where one day you were high as a kite, everything was glorious, and the next day, reality came in with a big surprise? How many ever lost a job? How many ever experienced a death in the family? How many ever experienced something that was so devastating that one minute you were up and the next minute you were experiencing a basement experience? I was living an actual basement experience. What happened to me? Pregnancy without spouse. That can take your first up right down into a basement. What about my mom? Mom! Esther, darling, you're 25 years old, you're brilliant. I remarried. I waited to get everybody out of the house before I did that. Sweetie bear, you're going to figure it out. It wasn't a nice basement. There were bugs in the basement. In the basement with bugs and a brand new baby. Toastmasters and honored guests, there was something else that fell into the basement. My sense of significance. Remember, I was going to be like my mom. Have you ever experienced that? Have you ever experienced anything that was so devastating that when you lost it, bam, you were in the basement? Mark Twain said, the 2 most significant days in your life are the day that you were born and the day you found out why. Bam, I was in a basement. Wee, wee, little girl, I suddenly discovered the truth. I was just like my mom. I didn't need those external things. I loved my baby girl. And I made a vow in that basement. I made a vow that I was going to get up out of that basement. And we rose out of that basement because I found my why. I encourage all of you, if you ever have a basement experience, realize this: your significance is not attached to those things that you lose. Your presence on this planet is your significance. Look inside of yourself and connect to that and rise, fellow Toastmasters.
Contestant number 6, Alex Huynh. Right on the edge, Alex Huynh.
$23,000 times. That's how many breaths you'll take today. Most, you won't even notice. But there are some breaths you never forget. Like the final breath, standing right on the edge of something terrifying, something you told yourself was impossible, something like learning how to do a backflip to celebrate your 3rd decade. Standing right on the edge of the foam pad, I get into the set position. I stand tall, I find my focal point, shoot my arms to the sky, mentally preparing to throw them down to begin the flip. I repeat Coach Brian's cues. Jump, reach, tuck, spot, land. Standing there, I can feel my heart racing wildly. Visions of face plants and broken bones bombard my mind. I push those thoughts to the side. It's a moment of truth. I swing my arms down and, nope, that doesn't feel right. Not today. I look to my coach. Brian just smiles and says, "Don't forget to breathe." He's right. I was forgetting to breathe. In that moment, I was falling victim to fear. When we're afraid, our breath speeds up, becomes shallow. It gets caught in our chest, trapped, where it can't help us. You see, our body speaks to us, but it doesn't speak a language. It speaks through our breath. Our breath is what unites life to consciousness, aligns our body to mind. When we inhale, we feel. When we exhale, we let go. And in that moment, it was what I needed the most. When we're standing right on the edge of our comfort zone, our breath is the first thing to abandon us. But it can also be our greatest ally in discovering our inner power. As I prepare for my second attempt, I remember to breathe. My breath feels steadier, deeper. I feel ready. I repeat the mantra: jump, reach, tuck, spot, land. I get in a set position, I swing my arms down, jump, reach, and my body still is too afraid to commit. Sometimes knowing what to do isn't enough. Our body needs to learn its own lessons. Breathing is just the first step. Next, we must listen, really listen to what lies beneath our fear. They say the best place to listen is in a quiet room. And when we truly breathe, we discover the quiet room within ourselves, a place where the noise of doubt and fear fades away. leaving our body's wisdom for us to hear. As I find myself at the mat's precipice once again, my heart's racing, vision of faceplants, afraid, I take a breath. I feel something shifting within. The gym fades to silence, leaving just me, my breath, and this moment. For the first time, I'm able to see my body's quiet room, where my body's wisdom finally has a voice. Although my fear is still there, it no longer controls me. Once more, I hear Coach Brian's mantra, but this time, in my own voice. Jump, reach, tuck, spot, land. I find my focal point, swing my arms down, jump, reach, tuck, bam! I forgot to spot the landing, over-rotated, and that's when my butt introduced itself to the ground. In that unexpected yet expected fall, my body spoke its loudest truth. The beauty and secret to a backflip isn't in the spinning. It's about that moment of trust. When you surrender everything you know, leave the ground behind, and trust in something you can't yet see. In life, each of us are standing at an edge that tests our courage. Maybe it's leaving something safe, but unfulfilling. Being the first one to say, I love you. Or daring to believe in a dream that scares you. When you find yourself right at that edge, remember this. Breathe. Listen. Trust. Because beyond that edge of fear lies a power that was always yours to claim. 23,000 breaths. Most will go unnoticed. But it only takes one breath, one moment of breathing, listening, and trusting to change everything. And there, right on beyond that edge, not only do you go on to do amazing things, you become amazing. Thank you.
This concludes our international speeches.